NEP is expecting, they're all done in the IB for the last 20 to 30 years.
We have some of the looming challenges today itself.
So now NEP is helping us to structure things better.
So NEP is not only hand-holding the teachers and the principals.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks a lot for making on a Saturday evening here. Really appreciate all of you coming all the way from taking time from your busy schedule. Thank you so much once again. I'm Devaki Sahasrabudhe. I work with the Association of Indian Principals as the Chief Marketing Officer. Maybe let me have an interactive session with all of you instead of, an inaugural speech, because I don't think I'm so good to give a speech, okay? How many of you know about the Association of Indian Principals? Great, thank you. This particular round table was conceived, this concept was conceived a couple of months ago along with NextgenInnov8. My colleague Nainish here, Pachpande sir, we don't have Rahul here, right? So Rahul Jain. So we actually started brainstorming on how we should get the school principals together. And our idea was not criticizing the NEP, because we have been there, heard that, done a lot of things, but nothing was coming out of it. So our interest was that how do we probably take this to a second stage or a second step and talk about NEP wholeheartedly, openly, and understand where are the problems, where can the problems be more refined, right? How can we refine or how can we look at the solutions? So that is where we came out with this. We reached out to approximately 200 plus schools. I personally reached out to 50 plus schools, and everybody wanted to participate. Some of them did not find the day suitable, but we can't really cater to everybody's wish at times. So many thanks for all of you to join here. I'm going to talk little about AIP. So AIP, the Association of Indian Principals, this is a not-to-profit organization. We help educators, we help the edtech startups to come together and look at how knowledge sharing can be a great opportunity and how can we create leaders through these processes. Now, coming back to the roundtable conference, when we spoke about having this as a roundtable measure, we discussed and decided approximately 9 cities, and we are going to be talking about NEP in the roundtables in approximately 9 cities across India. This definitely happened because our chairman, Mr. Dalip Sharma, he is a visionary in education. He has been, he has been associated with a lot of forums, and EdTech being a part and parcel of our mind and heart, we all came together into this wonderful organization called Association of Indian Principals. Now, what do we exactly do? So we provide a platform to principals, to head of the educational institutions, and other stakeholders to come together to understand which is a topic which is close to their heart, our heart, collaborate and make a difference in the Indian education system. We have offered multiple opportunities to multiple new schools, new age schools, to make a mark in the education system. Now, when I say this, we wholeheartedly do this. Let me once again say that this is a not-to-profit organization. We don't really take any money back from the, from these kind of roundtables. It is merely our happiness to contribute towards the development of Indian education system. Having said that, we have approximately 50 plus governing council members across the globe. And we are working very close with Australian, Australian government, Australian universities to build on the on sustainable curriculum development. So these are certain projects which we have taken into consideration. And we have been delivering a lot of details to some of the schools back in Delhi, Haryana, that belt as well. So that is about AIP. I don't want to bore you more. You can probably just go through our website. We have many principals who have got attached with us. I would urge all of you who are not the members still, you can definitely come across on our platform as a member. So the membership, the individual membership is free of cost, but if the institution has to come and take a membership, it comes with a very nominal cost. All the information is shared on the website, and I would love you to go on the website and check once again. So yeah, that's about AIP. I would now like to invite Mr. Pachpande, Sandeep Pachpande, to please come on stage and talk about his group, the ASM group. A warm welcome to him, a warm welcome to all of you, all the principals, and shall we do the, shall we do this first? Okay, so let me invite Ms. Shubhra Verma, Principal MET Bhujbal Knowledge City School in Nasik, Ms. Carolyn Diane, is that how you pronounce your name? Great. Principal at St. Mary's School, Pune. Mradula Singh, founder of Next Schools. That is Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University. Right, ma'am? Yes, I said that. Yeah, she's the founder director there. We have Mr. Madan Mohan, Principal, Symbiosis International School. Sure. Just one, memory which I would love to share with you. 2022 February, I was privileged to have a conversation with approximately 16 principals across the globe, the school principals. And this was a no agenda meet. We decided to catch up because we wanted to know what is happening in their respective countries into the education sector. We had approximately 2 principals joining in on that webinar from the US, 1 from UK, 3 from Finland, as you rightly pointed out, and so on and so forth. So there were 3 principals from India as well. Now, I would love to, give you one scenario wherein this lady called Mrs. Laura from a school in California, and she mentioned that we have seen the US or the Bay Area, if I have to put it rightly. Bay Area has seen a lot of Indian students right from their birth, right from joining in the early years, then moving to the primary school, the middle school, the high school, etc. And according to the data, okay, which a research company, I think McKinsey, if I'm not wrong, so they did some research, and it was actually mentioned that around 41% of intelligence comes from the Indian students. Now, this was a remarkable, the pointer which he gave us was that. And another thing which he told me was 12% of this crowd, the genetics I'm talking about now, is from the government schools. So, the inculcation of education, what probably all of us have had in our schools when we were young, when we went to schools, I think the system of education has been really good. The point is that we have to take that ahead. Now is the time that we have to really take that ahead. I studied in a very beautiful school called Saraswati Bhuvan in Aurangabad. I'm from Maharashtra. And that time there were only two schools in Aurangabad. One was Saraswati Bhuvan, one was Holy Cross. So Holy Cross was a Jesuit school, and the other one was a Marathi medium school with a one division of English medium for girls. Of course, the education fees for girls was zero. We did not pay anything. And then we had a very beautiful concept which was introduced in grade 7th for all the students called Khari Kamai. And we were told by our teachers that you all have to go to your neighbors, do the work which they ask you to do, finish the task, take money whatever they give, and you have to do this for 1 month. Okay? So the thrill of doing that work was so enormous that we used to look forward for that 1 month, that when are we going to do Khari Kamai. Now, any work, Joshi Kaku would ask me to go sweep the entire house, and she would give me 5 rupees after that. Somebody would ask me to look for, go and water the garden, and they would give me 3 rupees or 4 rupees. But at the end of the month, when the box had approximately 100 rupees or 95 rupees, and then my father used to give me 5 rupees more, so it gets to an even number, and we used to hand it over to the school library. Now the intention was students who cannot afford the books, we used to buy the books from that particular money. Now this has been inculcated in us right from the childhood. And I somehow feel for me to join AIP was, the mission was that how can I give it back now to the society, because my school has already inculcated that in me. And so yeah, that's probably my effort, why I am here in front of you today. And with a lot of vision and with a lot of mission, we already spoke with Dr. Sandeep that how best can we come put our best foot forward and come together. The one point which I would like to mention here very categorically is what he mentioned about getting the best of the universities in India and making our students at the school level to understand what these Ivy League colleges are getting to you. What is it that you are going to go and learn there, paying a lot of money. But if you can actually get a hint of that, paying a very nominal fee, then why not? So I think I'll leave you guys with that thought, and I would love to invite Dr. Sita Lakshmi Iyer. She will explain to us about the other group. Thank you so much.
Respected Sandeep Pachpande sir, the eminent speakers, and my principals, dear principals who have made it for the day to attend this conference. Just take you a brief insight into the progress and development which our school has done under the aegis of ASM group of institutes. Education is the soul of our society, and with this mission in mind, our founder, late Dr. R.R. Pachpande sir, laid the foundation of Audyogik Shikshan Mandal's ASM group of institutes in the year 1983. We take pride in this rich history of 40 years of excellence. ASM group of institutes has persistently provided the corporate world with well-rounded professionals who have gone on to become good leaders in their professional spheres. The ASM group of institutes provide complete educational package, as sir has already mentioned earlier, starting from KG to PhD. They are the pioneer in management education in Pune, and ASM is a dynamic institute industry interface for application skill-based learning. ASM's placement cell has a track record to reckon with, which includes over 60,000 plus alumni working with top-notch MNCs in India and abroad. And ASM has a full-fledged research cell which engages in joint research programs and R&D activities and serves as a research center for Savitribai Phule, Pune University. And let me take the honor to introduce our trustees, the top management team. We have Dr. Asha Pachpande ma'am, who is the founder, secretary, and managing trustee of ASM, the guiding light and visionary, and she needs no introduction, holds 50 plus years of experience in management field. Dr. Sandeep Pachpande sir, the pillar of ASM and chairman of ASM Group of Institutes, a very young dynamic leader with a rich experience in shaping the young minds of our students. Dr. Priti Pachpande ma'am, a persistent pace setter, young and dynamic personality. Dr. S.B. Mathur, Director General, ASM Group of Institutes, guide and mentor, and holds a rich experience of 40 years in the field of education. Our mission is to foster an enthusiastic learner, responsible human, ethical citizen, and a compassionate member of society. And our vision is to prepare students to understand, contribute to, and succeed in a rapidly changing society, thus making the world a better place to live in. And with this, we have a few milestones of achievement, where our school was established in the year 2016, and we got the secondary school affiliation in 2019, followed very closely with a senior secondary affiliation in 2022, and we had our first 10th batch giving the exam in the year 21-22, where they gave us 100% results. Not only 100% results, but our student, the top scorer being 96%, and closely followed with 22-23 year of results, again 100%, and the top scorer with 97%. Then we later went on to get the IOIP membership, the International Award for Young People, the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, where children are given the opportunity to train their soft skill, leadership skills, and also to develop their self-confidence to face challenges in the world. So we are into it, and our children have completed their bronze medal right now, and they are on to the silver medal programs. And the next one was the NCC Air Wing membership, which we also was given in the year 22-23. This is our Talegaon campus, Empress International School, Talegaon, Chinchwad campus. Now coming to the awards. We had the privilege of getting awarded the Best School Award from Delhi, the Research Center from Delhi by the Deputy Secretary CBSE Board in the year 22-23 as the best school in Maharashtra. Swaraj Stanley, grade 9, who won the karate competition at the state level, the gold medal. Dafiq Pirzade and Arnav Chavan, boxing and karate competition state level. Advait Krishna, grade 7th, gold medal in martial arts at the state level competition. Dash Mutha, grade 8th, 4th rank in skating conducted by CBSE in Belgaum. The glimpses of the karate competition. We also have a few best practices being done in the school, such as I told you, the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award. This award is a global framework for non-formal education and learning, which challenges young people to dream big, celebrate their achievements, and make difference in their world. And through developing transferable skills, increasing their fitness levels, cultivating a sense of adventure, and volunteering in their community, the award helps young people to find their purpose, passion, and place in the world. As I told you, we have already crossed the bronze level. Our school children will be now vying for the silver medal. A few activities. We work for the holistic development of the students, and for this we offer value-added courses in collaboration with Harvard Student Agency and Nova Singapore and others. And I feel very proud to inform all of you that quite a few of our students, as you can see, have completed this course of Innovation and Entrepreneurship In collaboration with NextGen and the Novo debate program from Singapore, almost 12 to 15 students have participated in this and have come out in flying colors. A few glimpses of the MCF activities. The NCC, the Malkham activities which the MCF provides. Students also visit exhibitions from time and again to update themselves to what is happening around the world. So G20, we had taken the children for a visit. Now we come to a virtual tour of the cultural activities which we hold in our school. It's not bright. Light. Next one. I'm also very proudly to inform you all that our NCC battalion also won the first prize, that is the best school in the ATC camp held at Pune last month. We were awarded the best school trophy for the activities conducted by our school, a virtual view of the photographs.
कुछ पाने की हो आस आस, कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं, हर कोशिश में हो बार बार, करे दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं, तूफानों को चीर के मंजिलों को छीन ले, आशाएं ले दिल की, उम्मीदें हंसे दिल की, अब मुश्किल नहीं कुछ भी, नहीं कुछ भी, आशाएं ले दिल की, उम्मीदें
At Empros, we believe that success is a journey and not a destination. Together, we can shape the future of our children and equip them with the skills and knowledge necessary to excel in this ever-changing world. Let's revel in the spirit of achievement and look forward to an exciting future filled with endless possibilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request Devaki to come forward and felicitate ma'am as ASM Empros International School being our venue partner for today's roundtable conference. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Devaki. Moving forward, now this is the time to start our discussion for which we all have gathered here, the roundtable conference on NEP in action, a way forward to 2040. I would like to take the opportunity to invite our esteemed speakers for today evening. Firstly, Shubhra Verma, ma'am, Principal, MET Bujnoor Knowledge City School, Nashik. Ma'am, you can please join us on the stage. Carolyn Diane, madam, Principal, St. Mary's School. Mridula Singh, madam, Founder, Next School's Content Director, Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University. Madan Mohan, sir, Principal, Symbiosis International School. And I would like to invite our moderator for today, Devaki Sahasrabuddhe, CMO, Association of Indian Principals. Devaki, over to you.
Good evening once again to all of you, and thank you, the panel, to be here today for the roundtable conference. We have discussed a lot already. Sandeep sir, you all have, I'm sure, gone through a lot of incidences, discussions, conversations in your career about NEP. So I would start with a very basic note that why don't you start with explaining what is NEP for all of you. I think let's start with that. Let me start with Mohan sir.
Actually, a very wrong person to start with, no issues. Because I'm heading an IB school, so NEP is not that much applicable to the IB schools. But what happens is, when we went through the NEP document, the first NCF and the second one, the kind of practices what the NEP is expecting, they're all done in the IB for the last 20 to 30 years. So that's why I think Sahasrabuddhe ma'am called me that, I said like, first when the invitation was there, I said like, it won't be relevant if I come there. But she said like, no sir, it's not like that. The kind of things what you're doing in IB schools, everything is expected from the NEP. That's why it will be more relevant for you to be here. So there are 2-3 things. One is about the research curriculum, what the IB is into for the last so many years. That is again taken into the NEP. Again, there are 2-3 things about the skills, that is the thinking skills, social skills, collaborative skills, and again research skills also. So all these skills have been taken into the IB, in the NEP as a skill which is compulsory for the 9th to the 12th standard students. Again, another issue is about the communication strategies, the communication skills, that is also taken in a nice way, again same taken from the IB also. So there are many issues which are taken, which are practiced in the IB and they have adopted in the NEP. And just to let you know, because there was a nice argument which I was having with my father, and he's into education for the last so many years now. He's heading a B.Ed college. He was heading a B.Ed college. So as we know, NEP is like a baby of 2020, okay, but it's not so. The Narasimha Rao government, yeah, that's like when he went through the document of NEP, he clearly said that this is just the old wine in the new bottle. But the best part about NEP is the way it is presented to us, the kind of consultations what the government is doing. They are getting consultations from each and every school, each and every principal. They are open to give views on NEP, right? So that's the best part of this government, right? So over to ma'am.
Thank you, Mohan sir. That was really insightful. You have the mics with you? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you can start, Madhurama.
So, namaste to all of you. Thank you for being here today. It's a wonderful topic, and I was intrigued the moment I was told that we will be discussing about NEP.
Thank you.
NEP for me is not about 2040. We have some of the looming challenges today itself. Let me give you an example. Just yesterday in the university, we were having Club Fest, and there were some students who came to me, and they were talking about, ma'am, we have submissions. Now we don't take our submissions that seriously. I said, why? What is the reason? They say, there is ChatGPT. We just have to put some prompts, and it is all there. I have been working in the field of content marketing, in the field of curriculum development for last 23 years, when there was advent of EdTech in India, in the very first project. And I told them, we also use ChatGPT. I generate about 500 social media posts in a month. We ideate, we put it in the ChatGPT, but we are not happy with the results. We have to put some adjectives. The event, the photos that are coming to us for which we are posting, making the post. So we have to put some prompts, some adjectives. My feelings, is it fantastic? Am I thrilled? Am I happy? And these kids are telling me, and I was really, I want to share it with you because that has blown away my mind. And I felt amazing because they told me that, ma'am, look, we may be having your level of expertise. You are using it at a professional level. For us, the submissions matter. At the end of it, the grades matter. The teachers are not assessing us on the topic or the content, where is it coming from. Do you see this challenge coming to your classrooms also? Yes, I see many faces nodding. So this is where we will have to build our expertise and adopt NEP in such a way where AI is not hindering but enhancing our curriculum, our learning, the way we are teaching today. Also, I would like to highlight one more thing. NEP is not about, a beautiful document, but you have to extract word by word what it says, the flexibility, right? Another example I would like to quote is, in today's world, we are not teaching life skills, and we all agree to it. We were having the conversation just now, and Shubhra was talking about financial literacy. Yeah? I'll go beyond that. Bring kitchens to the school. Yeah. All of us eat. All of us cook at home. Our kids have tantrums. What to cook? Why didn't you cook this? It's not good. But they tell them to understand what the ingredients are in the kitchen that we are using for making simple things. Sometimes as simple as tea, noodles, which are not ready-made. They would not identify any of the spices there. It is a basic necessity, isn't it? We all love eating. We want delicious food every day on our table. But we don't teach our kids how to cook. Yes, I'm talking about it in the world where Swiggy, Zomato, and Blinkit is all there. We come from the era when in the school, despite having the sewing machine, we were taught hemming and embroidery, isn't it? It is the same thing that we are talking about today. In the era of AI, in the era of technology, how do we adopt NEP to bring back Gurukula system? How do you give your assignments in such a way where children are not just cheating from the ChatGPT, as we may put it, but that's not a cheating. There is no restriction on our children to use ChatGPT. It is all out there and it is open, right? The AI is coming to our classrooms in a way that we can't imagine. WhatsApp University is providing information which is I'm sorry, it is half truth. I work with UNESCO with media and information literacy. So media and information literacy is all about being mindful of the digital media, do not spread hate. Our country is fastest finger first in forwarding messages. I call it FFF game. How do we create our children to be more mindful of this? And I'm not talking about the kindergarten kids or the, in the primary or middle school. I'm also talking about the higher ed, where we are facing many, many societal challenges for that. So NEP for me is one thing more. Devika has just put it. Devaki has said affordability. She has brought affordability. So for me, NEP is accountability, accessibility, equality, and adopting our technology in a way where we, have children who are actually working for the 21st century skills, as we call it. But I call this 21st century skills as jargon. I'll close it here and I'll give the mic to Caroline. Maybe I can add little more later.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mridula, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, most of the points you did cover, and just like Sir said, it's all wine in a new bottle. I too believe, actually, if we observe our NCF 2005 too, it had the similar things. It's just that it was not very structured. And so now NEP is helping us to structure things better and to make schools cultures of thinking. Teaching children how to learn, how to think, not just what to learn and what to think. So that is, the NEP will definitely be a great tool if implemented in the right spirit. And for that, I think the initiative of creating hubs of learning to share best practices across the country, because if you would see, all that the NEP is wanting to implement right now, in most of the affluent schools, IB schools, it has been, we've been doing it. But yes, because of the rigid structure of our education system in our country, it wasn't done in the lower strata maybe. However, now if we extend a helping hand, just not talking CSR from corporates, but schools as well, to hold each other's hands for the betterment of the student fraternity. I'm sure NEP will go a long way and we'll reach much before 2040.
Thank you. That was really insightful. Thank you very much, all of you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think everybody has spoken a lot. I would just add to one of the few points that were touched upon. Ms. Mridula talked about cooking skills. Most of you may have been aware of Kerala introducing that in their curriculum. Okay?
Yes, yeah.
Of course, a lot of media flack is attracted when such things happen. Eyebrows are raised. Okay? Nevertheless, it is a life skill, and no matter how modern we become, we still need to fill our tummies at the end of the day, and not depend on Swiggies and Zomatos, or, over a period of time. So obviously, every child needs to learn how to cook the basic thing which can help them fill their tummies at the end of the day. One is that. Secondly, in fact, one of the biggest problem in human societies across the globe is how families are breaking. Okay? Nobody is addressing it consciously. Now, if you remember, again, that's a piece of news, national news. It attracted a lot of flack from the netizens, especially the Gen X and Gen Z, Gen Y, whatever Gen they club themselves into. But there was a curriculum, a course on how to be a good wife. Do you remember that? Any of you remember that piece of news? In Banaras Hindu University, BHU introduced that. I don't know what happened, whether it saw the light of the day or not, I'm not sure. I'll catch up on that very soon. But do we realize that breaking families, broken families are hindering the growth of the next generation. How do we educate young parents to understand that? So NEP is not only hand-holding the parents, or the teachers and the principals. NEP is moving a way forward and helping parents understand how they can nurture their children and how should they do it by practicing what they preach. So a lot of things children learn is from their surroundings. The moment we throw away the simple things around us is where the challenge begins. It takes a lot of time to get it back. And as rightly pointed out by some of the speakers here, the Gurukul system is, or the Vedic philosophy on which the new education policy is trying to implement or frame its curriculum upon, is nothing new to India. It was just ignored or swept under the carpet for the simple fact that it looked unmodern and outdated, especially after 200 years of slavery of the British rule. Okay? So there are things, it is there, it's as simple as that. When Ms. Devki mentioned about going for that month of doing Khari Kamai, right? So it's as simple as that. And she mentioned she comes from a school where there was no fee charged.
State
so
board.
it has, yes, exactly. Yeah. State board or whatever board, it was free of cost. That education came to us free of cost. Okay? So education can be as simple as starting from home, doing something what your parents encourage you to be a good human being and take care of your, not just your environment, the human society around us. So I am sure education begins at home, and NCF is trying to address by through a lot of schools partnering with parents, partnering with organizations like Ms. Mridula and yes,
schools,
and financial literacy, life skills, legal literacy, cyber safety, n number of things are coming up. Cyber safety is a new concept because there was no cyberspace when we were growing up, but financial literacy, yes. Cooking literacy or taking care of your homes and families it's not going to die ever. Okay, we need families. We more than now realize how important it is for us to keep in touch with our parents and the elder generation, how much more useful it is. And just 2 days back, Delhi High Court has come up with this landmark ruling against a woman who refused to stay with her in-laws. And that amounts to cruelty, okay? Cruelty in matrimony, and the man was given a divorce based on that. So we must realize breaking homes are also a reason when youngsters, when parents like us, we move away from our elderly people or our old age traditions, we are harming the next generation. So there are so many newspaper articles, court rulings and proceedings which bring time and again our attention to such needs which are called 21st century, maybe it goes on into 22nd and 23rd and whatever centuries. Nevertheless, these are skills we must wake up to and start implementing first in ourselves, and then our children will follow. So NEP for me is a way forward to restructuring and correcting all the mistakes that we have imbibed in the last 200 years. Thank you.
So great conversation here. Certain aspects of NEP also speak about employability, what our students are learning. I'll give you an example from my own house, okay? My younger one went to his principal. He is 10 now. He was 8 then. And he went to the principal, and the principal was busy. He was told that the principal was busy, and he said, I'll wait. So he waited, and I think after half an hour, he was sent inside. And he asked her a very simple question: why do we learn Hindi in school? Why is it important? I learn Hindi by watching Bollywood movies, so I know Hindi. What is the logic of me learning Hindi from from 3rd grade to 10th grade? The only crux of education should be mathematics and science, because that's the only criteria which we require when we grow up. So the teacher said, but you know, you will have to converse. You have to converse with each other. Tomorrow, when you go to a village and they are unable to talk to you in English, how do you converse with them? He said, in Hindi, because we learn Hindi in Bollywood by watching Bollywood movies. Now, she did not have an answer because of course, she had answers, but she thought that he might not understand or he's too little to, you know, explain to him. And he was asking her, can we write to the CBSE board that there should be only M1, M2 and M3, P1, P2 and P3, that is maths and physics. These are the only subjects which we require as we grow up. Rest of the subjects are, you know, we don't need them as we grow up. So what I'm trying to say is the concept of what you need or what I need is coming up at that early age. Now that is because of the technology what the students are exposed to. I'm sure each and every school is exposing their students to technology learning. I would love to know from you as principals that have you come across such incidences in your career, wherein you know when the student is absolutely not ready to accept that other subjects are also important. What do I do learning geography? Now he has basic problems that I will not do the revision of the same sum again and again because I have already done it. So I fail to understand that why is a student, forget that he is in my own house, but I'm considering him as a student. After that conversation, I spoke to a couple of his friends. I made a group of like 8-10 people. In certain schools in Bangalore, I also do a lot of compassion building workshops. And you know, I was asking these students that, okay, which is your favorite subject? So some of the children said English because it is very easy and I score marks in English. Okay, why not science? Why not? So everybody will have their own parameters, right? My question is the technology changing the viewpoint of the student at a very early age? I'm talking about 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, they have their own views today. Sir's son, he started his own startup at the age of 14. Which is remarkable. And I would probably congratulate you, sir, that you are actually promoting that. You know, in 80% of the houses, the parent will say, shut up and study. You are not supposed to do this. Yeah, it is a fact, right? So I seriously would like to know that how has that changed in your students? Maybe, sir, you can throw some light on that.
See, I'll just answer 2-3 questions which I got from ma'am also. First one is the ChatGPT one, right? So we in our school, we are encouraging ChatGPT straight away because around 30% of the assessment is based on the kind of work what they are submitting to the school. And then it goes to the IB and that it gets assessed and they get the marks, no issues. So previously they used to write like whatever it is, they used to write and they used to give it to the teachers. Then what happens is when they give a soft copy, that time we have to put it to some software called as Turnitin, right? So that gives you the plagiarism index. So what happens is Turnitin, when we submit this AI generated text to Turnitin, it gives you clearly that these things are generated by the AI and the student has to acknowledge that this is generated by the AI. So the question here is not the text what he has given to us. The question here is what the kind of prompts he is putting into ChatGPT. So he is not footnoting or bibliographing the text. He is footnoting, bibliographing the prompt what he has put. So already this is not the future that we are going to be in problem. Already we are into soup. Again, that's a chicken soup. That's perfect for us, right? So we are doing all these things with Turnitin and we have given all these footnotes and we have submitted to the IB and all the organizations, even the universities, that they are accepting the AI generated text which is checked by the Turnitin and they are giving away degrees. So the kind of problems what we thought that we are going to have, they are not problems, they are boons now. Okay, so this is about the ChatGPT and there are certain things about the skills what we spoke about the cooking and all that stuff. So and there are many issues about Swiggy and Zomato. Okay, so what happens is like many families, many people, they know how to cook. Maybe paneer butter masala or whatever masala. They know how to do it, but Swiggy is just half an hour away. Okay, and this is a part of the services, like instead of spending maybe 250 rupees on that paneer butter masala, which we are going to make and spend around one hour or something on that, instead of that, people are just they're ready to pay that money and get that Swiggy to them. Okay, so this one man's need becomes other man's business, right? So when I'm making it as a business, if I'm making maybe paneer butter masala for 2-3 kilos, I'm putting it on Swiggy and I'm taking business out of that, right? So one man's need is other man's business. So that's also perfect. Okay, coming to your thing. Where does chemistry stop and physics start? Or where does chemistry stop and bio starts? Okay, so there are many other funny things like when we go for career counseling for the students in the 11th and the 12th standard, that time we have made it compulsory for them to take, if you're taking bio, you have to take chemistry also. Ek pek free hai wo, right? Another thing is that if you want to take physics HL, that is higher level, maths higher level is also compulsory, ek pek free. Because half of maths HL is, physics HL is maths, right? So these kind of combinations, compulsions and restrictions, we have kept it. Okay, and about the Hindi thing, there was a funny situation my student went through. He's a CEO of a huge company, like again inherited. What happened there is, he was in our school, he did French throughout, from the first standard till the 12th standard. He did not do Hindi. So now, there is a funny, like there is a document which comes and lands in a stable, which is written in Hindi. He has been surviving in this country for the last so many years, did his schooling from our school, maybe law from same Indian college, but he doesn't know how to read and write Hindi. So his Spanish wife, she's ridiculing him that, bro, how come? You have been in this country and you don't know how to read Hindi and Marathi. Okay, so this is a kind of a need that they should know languages. And knowing a language is always a big bliss, right? So Hindi or Marathi, again, government of Maharashtra, they have made Marathi compulsory in all the schools, and we are doing it.
Same as in Bangalore,
across,
yeah. Kannada is compulsory.
So Kannada is compulsory.
State language, yeah, regional language.
Right, and at least we are somewhat okay that it's not to that phonetic level of Tamil Nadu. It's like it's on a different level, but it's like we are going through this Marathi and Hindi, and again Spanish, German or French is also there as
Right.
optional subjects. So that's there. Like all the subjects, what I feel like all the subjects which are taught in the school, they should be compulsory kind of. They should be compulsory, but that's how we are made up of, right? And other thing is that there was a nice, I was a speaker in one of the conferences in Jaipur School News. There they were talking about just put something in Google and you'll get it. So why we need to by heart and go for rote learning and all that stuff?
Right,
But the question is, content is going to be the king always.
always.
Because if you're going to give a text and a B text, to find the difference between these two and go for analysis, the content has to be there. So content will be delivered maybe till the end of the planet. Content is going to be the king, and that's how it's going to be. And even my moderator, when he came up and said that this 150 questions are generated by a ChatGPT app, but to analyze which questions he should be putting it to the panel, he needed that content analysis, right? So content is going to be the king as always. Yeah. Next.
Right, thanks. This mic is not working.
This one's working.
Great. Sure, please go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you, sir, and I was actually intending to continue that. I too agree that ChatGPT is a boon. In fact, today we are dealing with digital natives. All of us sitting today in this room are digital immigrants. But we are dealing with digital natives. But in order to tackle these, negative aspects, it is about the better question. Just like you have to put the correct prompts, the better question, there's a book actually written on the better question where we as educators, facilitators must read on how to make, again, in my previous, what I said to, making children think. So schools, if we know how to ask the correct prompt, catch the children that way, they have to be able to think, to analyze information. That is more important. Analysis, synthesis of information is more important. And personally, I believe that every school, no doubt, children must be exposed to all the fields. That's how they identify where their talent or their intelligence lies. Everyone has, we all have multiple intelligences. Which one is our area of strength? We wouldn't know. As parents, maybe when a child goes to school, the choices are made by parents. The school we choose, the parent chooses the school for the child. But as they grow, so they need to be exposed to all kinds of subjects, all the different subjects, and then as they grow, they identify their areas of interest and then can capitulate on that. I feel that actually implementing, imposing the learning of languages. I've been a language teacher myself, a French teacher that too. So imposing a language is not necessary. Because today we are talking global citizenship.
Correct.
English is a medium of instruction, one language to, unite everyone. Any other language is a boon, a bonus to everyone. And so learning languages, but imposing languages. Like yesterday, I was reading about the NCF 2023.
Right.
There's no more choice for a foreign language unless it's taken as an extra subject. Who is going to foot the bill of an extra subject? So schools also run on certain lines, on certain budgets, certain timelines, and you have limited time in school. So though you're talking, the NEP is talking flexibility, I actually do not see too much flexibility in it. In our school, yes, our children too keep questioning on why this and why that, but I believe, yes, children must learn math, science, physics, history, geography up to grade 10, and thereafter, according to their area of interest, pursue their careers. But we must expose them to everything.
Definitely. In fact, I would love to make a point here that we see China today. They don't speak English. But what has stopped them? I think they are probably, the best students are coming out, or best innovation is coming out of China. Of course, I shouldn't be talking about that, but yeah, that's a fact, right? Where the credit is due, the credit is due. You have seen, I was reading a report, and approximately 63-64% of the students in the US are learning Mandarin. There is a need for that. Now, why have they chosen Mandarin? There has to be some sequence to go beyond that, right? So, yeah, over to you, ma'am.
The simple fact that,
Can we have a discussion kind of stuff? Yeah. So about this language being compulsory, I call myself a NRT, okay, non-resident Tamil. So what happens is, studied in an English medium school, okay, with friendships with all Maharashtrian people. So Marathi, I have to learn because I have to make friendships with people, and that was I was studying in the school also. Hindi, again, Bollywood, and all many of them, they spoke Hindi also. See, Marathi is there, Hindi is there, then English is the school language, and without speaking in Tamil, I cannot get food in the home. Okay, so these 4 languages were there compulsory, and again, but still, I always had a fascination for French. Maybe because of the kind of magazines we used to get about French and all these things. So if French would have been made as a compulsory subject, I would have been a blessed guy that I could read French magazines. So in any scenario, like in Indian scenario mostly, so your home language, then Hindi, Marathi, English. So these are the 3 languages which always comes as a default for us. Okay, when we are studying. Again, Marathi was the toughest one to get marks also. That was a big issue there. So 3 languages compulsory from the school. Again, if there is an optional subject where we can learn French, because there is another thing about the brain drain also. When we learn French or Spanish, again, French is the second language for Canada, and much of the European countries, they are French speaking. So what happens is my job chances abroad, they are really high when I know French or Spanish or whatever from the school age. So if we make it compulsory, my job scenario becomes wonderful in that case. There was some other point which you said. I just wanted to. After this, you said certain thing.
About
Mandarin. So what happened about the when I was in US for some university visits, there are so many Chinese students those who are going to US, but the ones those who are studied on the international schools where English is the first language. Okay, so only these students are going to the foreign universities, whereas the Chinese schools, they are still the same case like the vernacular medium students. We are here, and the ones those who are studying in English, they are going abroad and doing it. Exactly, yeah. So again, the English is same, the Queen's language, again, still is ruling the world. But how far, I don't know.
No, but then that's as simple as the fact that, there was a time when half the globe was, they were colonial ruled countries, and English became that popular in the 18th and 19th century, even 20th century. Then came, of course, French and all. But then if you look at the population that speaks French or needs French, is very limited compared to Mandarin, simply because of the sheer population of that country. Next now is India, because India has topped the population charts of the world. So I'm sure the next most usable language would be Hindi, simply because across India people speak Hindi, and by the sheer fact that the entire population of India, in some way or the other, we speak Hindi either due to Bollywood movies as mentioned, but yeah, there was a time that Bollywood movies were not the only influence. Okay, in our times, I don't remember, the first movie I went to watch, a Hindi movie, was in grade 9, because my parents thought that movies will spoil us. So movies were, watching a movie was a taboo. Yeah. Now children, my own children, I have a son who's completed his engineering and a daughter in 12th standard in Mumbai, and they watch movie late in the night. They do everything late in the night. I don't know why, but the fact is, Hindi they will pick up not just because of the movies. We learned Hindi through schools only, and yes, because it was our mother tongue. Correct. That was the only way we could communicate with our servants and drivers and mothers and uncles and aunts. Yeah. So that was though I went to an English medium school, I would come back and teach English to the rest of the family members, because they were like, oh, she knows English. So that becomes a fashionable language. More to say now, of course, the younger generation, the YouTubers and the Gen Z.
Influencers.
Yes, influencers. They only are netizens, so they know English because most of the content is in English. That's why English. And let's rest the discussion on language simply because language only does one purpose, helps us communicate. As long as you are communicating, you're able to communicate with whosoever you want to, it's fine. It's fine. I have picked up, I'm a non-Maharashtrian. I hail from Punjab, madam, but I don't know Punjabi. So that's strange, but that's how it is. I've never stayed in Punjab because of my father's transferable jobs. Unfortunately, the only two languages I'm good at is English and Hindi.
Correct.
Okay? Because these were the first and the second languages wherever I studied. Even when I was in Orissa for 4 years, my college gave me an option of alternative English.
Yeah.
So what is alternative English? I was doing English honors, mind you. Even then I got an option like alternative English, simply because I stayed in a very cosmopolitan college where there was state-wise quotas. And, every state people it was a regional institute of education, it's under NCRT. So every state has a fixed quota. So the hostel mates came from all parts of India, and the only common language we spoke was English or Hindi. So obviously, as long as you can communicate, it's fine. Yeah. And Bollywood helps Hindi speaking. Thank you.
Great. Good discussion. So, another question which I would like to ask you as the leaders of the school is how is your school looking at innovation and the possibilities of starting up, or innovations wherein the student will come to you and say that, hey, you know what, this is what I have actually come out with. So how are you dealing with the innovations at school, at the school level? Maybe we can, yeah.
Yes. Innovation is key today. And I think project-based learning, first of all, has we initiate with that. At the younger classes, it's project-based learning which helps give children that chance to create, to ideate, and to innovate new things. And as they grow higher, giving them the opportunities to explore. For example, I have my own son. He's in grade 12 right now. And they were given this opportunity. There's this University of Melbourne competition right now, and they were asked to ideate a business. They had to structure how they will source their fund, for whom the target audience would be, how will they make it profitable,
Executed.
and I was amazed at I just let him be. They were working on the nights. They love to work in the night, the children, as you said, but they love to work. Maybe they think better without the parents around. But I was amazed at the outcome, the way he explained it. So giving children these opportunities to, throw it open to them, let them even think. If we give them, of course, yes, there has to be some structure of thinking too. Otherwise, it will just be, a shot in the air. But giving children more and more opportunities to present some project is what will help bring out that innovative side of theirs.
Because that is a part of NEP now, right? I mean, even the skill development. So, yeah.
CBSE always had, just that it was not implemented by so many schools.
Correct.
No, I just wanted to mention that CBSE always had integrated projects, and projects which would bring some relief to the way we live or the way we think and all, just that it was not being implemented. For example, now schools of Maharashtra is to be clubbed with the schools of Sikkim. Okay, 3 years back it was Odisha and Maharashtra, right? So schools have to understand, the children have to understand what is diversity, what is inclusivity, and understand the problems that they face. Okay, so it was there. The such projects were always there, but the only thing is most of the projects were done by parents, not by the children, unfortunately. So if you just let the children go wrong also with the projects, it's fine, as long as they are thinking over it, analyzing it, as rightly mentioned by both of you here, saying that, content is king. Yes, content would be. I mean, you at a simple touch of a screen, you come to know a lot of information, but sifting through those information and being able to use it at the moment. For example, the CPR activity, the CPR training that we give to children and teachers at school, what if you don't know what to do with it? You may have the information only when you press the button of your mobile and switch it on and then read. Would you read when somebody is dying there? Or would you always try to remember what needs to be done in an emergency? Okay? That's very important. That's why even though the content is there, you have to remember certain things. Bring a recall. Remember means recall at the right moment when you need it. I mean, if there's a fire in the building, what do? You go and search the internet, what to do?
Yeah.
No, we don't. We don't have the time. Right. If there's an earthquake, the tremors are felt, what do? I mean, of course, you won't go searching on ChatGPT what to do.
Right.
Okay, that's simple, as simple as that. So, how to live better, happier, is something that comes with a lot of basic education, which he rightly mentioned, till, as ma'am also has mentioned, till a certain age, all kinds of exposure must be given, all subjects must be, they should be exposed to whatever comes in handy, they should know. After which they can take wings and fly wherever they want. Thank you.
I think Shubhra has covered my campaign, which says happier and safer internet for all. This is the campaign that I have been running for the past 2 years. It is all about cyber safety, digital etiquettes and ethics. It is also about a campaign that talks a lot about mindful media, mindful content creation. And I think in NEP, as I said, that we will have to understand how we are implementing it. Same thing goes for technology. Mr. Madan has added very valuable points to the chat GPT, and it has become, I think, hero of this discussion today. But let's move ahead about assessments. In NEP, I am not sure because I am not an administrator of the school who is dealing with day-to-day activities. I understand that from a world outside. With my own projects that I take up with the children, we were also talking about giving opportunities. So I would like to mention one of the opportunities which are in the projects of Next Schools that we provide to the children. Right from 8 years onwards, since 2016, we have been running contests for blogging. Now, when in 2016, I was running as a summer, break program for the children to do something creative. So I asked parents in my, neighborhood, I'm running this contest. Would you like your child to participate? And the parents were saying, what is blog? I don't know what is blog. So the preparation for the digital or the technology begins at that stage. And there were some forward-looking parents who took this activity. At the age of 8, they enrolled their child, and by the age of 11, that girl had written book. She was author of the book by then because she cultivated those skills which were necessary. She knew that in the digital media, if I have to be there, I have to be a good thinker because blogging is a long form of content. It gives you insight into a lot of things. So these are the various ways in which in happier and safer internet for all, I have been, participating in discussions with, not just with the children, but I invite the schools also. Then when I started going to schools, one of the school principal came to me and she said that why don't you enroll, teach our children blogging and we want to have that in our school. So that's how it became an inter-school activity. Now it has taken shape where also the international students are participating from various countries every year. So we have to give them opportunities. Coming to innovation. Innovation, as I say, 21st century skills, scared that my jobs, future jobs will not be there, is not something I believe in. Because my own career journey, I have learned that in 1996, I completed my post-graduation. I joined as assistant professor in one of the colleges, and I found that being the topper, the student came to know early that her notes are very good. So they were after my notes. And they were not interested in attending lectures. That's when I started thinking what to do and how to do. After lots of trials and error, I landed into job in one of the companies. And I think my ex-colleague, I would say, he's also sitting here, that's EduComp Solutions. And now it is a big venture where you might have taken and know that smart classes are being conducted through that. And that's how EdTech journey has started. In between, when I was assistant professor, I did lot of gig in book writing, in doing, in writing for the print media. Now, coming to the era when we are talking about industry 5.0, not only 5.4. So it is the future of jobs will not be disrupted because the technology is coming. Your job possibility will decrease when your mind will stop learning. You will stop adapting. And we have to prepare our children for that adaptation. That adaptation should be there, isn't it? How do we teach our children or give them opportunities where they are constantly learning and evolving and making themselves learn, unlearn, unschool, and learn? One simple example I would like to give you about assessments and the way technology is dealing. For example, you are teaching about civic amenities and public works in your classes, right? In these classes, you are telling them to read the book, you will explain, maybe you will have a visit somewhere. Instead of that, my suggestion would be, go beyond the books. Take them, give them examples. For example, go to your neighborhood, count the street lights. How many of them are working? Are all of them working? So good job by the administrator. But I'm sure that some street lights might not be working, as we know our country. Whom to contact to fix it? This should be the project idea that you should be bringing. And then tell them to prepare a presentation based on that. How many potholes are there in your neighborhood? This is the education that we need for today's children so that they to become tomorrow's leader. Leaders don't become because they have the background of politician. We are seeing the emergence of Aam Aadmi Party, right? We have to bring the leaders. I'm not endorsing any political party, but it's just one of the examples that struck me just now. That you need to build leaders in this way, where they understand the problems of our surrounding. That's where I mentioned about the Gurukula, not the ancient system. We have to adapt it for today and for tomorrow. This is how we have to inculcate skills building activities in our schools. You have to move away from the textbook. One more thing that I would like to bring to your attention is the books itself. The books itself, in the sense that they are black and white books. Children are no more interested in reading it. You have to bring the books as an educator, because you go to the classroom, learn from them what their requirements are. Make it colorful, make it project-based, make it activity-based, and they will just learn, experiential learning. This is how we will have to learn. Technology will not give you personalization. Being in the technology, I'm telling you this. The personalization will not come from the technology because it doesn't actually convert into emotions. It will not assess the child's effort put in that project even if he's gone wrong. The technology will not count the failures. You can assess that. Why the child is failing, what is required. What are the activities, or how do I encourage my student to do well, where he's falling behind. Yes, there are some good edtech products which are coming up, which are talking about concept building in particular subject, in particular topic. But that is again, entire thing is curriculum based. We will have to move away from the curriculum. And I would request all of you, please do write a blog on my forum. That's called NextGen Bloggers Contest. It's an annual event. Put in your ideas, not just in my forum, but like AIP also. Put in your ideas, what you as an educator want in the policy. What do you want? What as a school leader you are thinking of changes in our system. It is all about you. It is all about us. Nobody is going to make those changes. I know Delhi in and out. In 2000, I was working in Delhi. I was going to back and forth because of my project to the ministry. That time it was called MHRD, Ministry of Human Resources and Development. I know how people work there. And being in Delhi, I could not understand what the other schools or the education systems and everybody's facing problem. Because Delhi itself is a very privileged place. They have clean roads now. There are good amenities. The public transport is beautiful. Can we count that in Pune? We need more social impact leaders. We need more understanding of our problem, our surrounding, the local issues. Think local and go global. This should be the approach. And global approach, I will give you one more example and then I'll wind up probably. Adar Poonawala, have you heard of him? Yes? Yeah, so waste management system is being run by him. You might have seen Adar Poonawala all the vans and small, vehicles picking up the garbage. And what a beautiful app that is. You go to the place where you find the garbage, click the picture, upload it, and they come and they pick up the very same day. You get the notification. This is how the startup should start thinking about. In the last 15 years, I have mentored so many startups, mostly in edtech, parenting, and I have told them, founders, that it is not going to work just because you are spending crores and crores of rupees. That startup works. Have you heard of Mr. Rashid Khan?
Yeah.
Have you heard of him? He has built a robot to clean the sewers. And it is a beautiful concept. Lately in my university, there was one talk given by him. And he's changing not just the society. He's changing mindset. He's uplifting the people who are working under the sewers. We call them untouchables, right? But now he's made, because of this particular innovation, he's started calling them robot operators.
Yeah.
They are operators. They are no more called the cleaners.
There was a beautiful social
So
impact.
this is the emotional, upliftment, the societal upliftment we should be thinking on. And it has to come from the schools. Please don't limit your schools to work towards children's education. Open your doors for the seniors. Open your doors for everyone around us, maybe parents. Take some inputs from them because they come from diverse background. And we are not including parents. NEP also talks about parents. They can be asset for your organization. They can be asset for your schools and the classrooms. Thank you very much.
So two answers for the questions what you raised. Okay. First one is the AI generated books nowadays, right? So you said that the blogging is not that much in business route, right?
I did not mention that blogging
So-
is not in business. I said this is one of the skill set that
Skills, yeah.
one should have, not just as a skill set, but also understanding the digital media. That's how UNESCO has been teaching digital media or the media literacy. It's not just digital media, the films, the books that are playing havoc in our lives today.
Yeah, because
Biased, confirmation biased and all those things, yeah.
So
That was
what
my
is- What
idea.
is happening is like when I'm using any mail app like Gmail or something like that, I'm using AI generative apps also to draft my full email. So just when I put, no, Grammarly they've got, same, Grammarly plus AI generated ones. So we are using that. But what is happening now is the kind of prompts what I'm putting and the kind of paragraphs it is giving is like totally different. So to clearly say what I want to say, I need to go for the full content correction. And the content correction comes from the knowledge of writing and reading, right? So writing and reading will not go anywhere.
Totally agree with you.
Exactly. So maybe we are getting 2-3 texts from here, previous knowledge. So that is not going to die anyway, right? So that is one thing. And another one about the emotions, right? So there are two softwares we are working at Symbiosis now. So one is the facial recognition software. The AI generated, AI assisted softwares. So what is happening, the student is supposed to sit in front of the laptop, okay, and they are supposed to read a document, like a text or something like that. And the facial recognition technology, again, the AI assisted one, it is tracing the retina, the cornea retina, whatever. And there are some difficult words which the paragraph has, right? So that word, the pupil is staying on that word for more than 1 or 2 seconds. That's a difficult word, right? So when he's reading the whole text and the software is judging what the child is capable of and what the child is not capable of. This is one. So clearly we can say that what are the difficult words in the paragraph what this child has encountered. Other thing is that there is another software which we are working on is like when there is a disgusting content which a paragraph has, child is going through that, okay, and the facial recognition technology is tracing what are the facial movements and the expressions. According to that, they are giving a data whether the child is disgusted, it's happy, or like vindictive, whatever it is coming. So already we are into AI generated or AI assisted technologies in the world now. So I don't feel like, sometimes I feel that are we talking of the future or are we talking of the present?
I
So
think
this-
the balance should be future combined with the present, because we cannot, without history we can't be here, sitting here. So history is as important, and everyone would understand the liberal arts field, which is an emerging field and which is taking care of technology plus our humanities. And students are also interested in psychology, and they are also interested in business analytics.
Absolutely. So, picking that point from business analytics, I think, when we talk about skill development, okay, when we talk about inculcating basic skills into students. Now, let me go back, take a step back and ask you as school leaders that when we talk about inculcating the skills into the students, how do you do that? Normally, it is done by the teachers. Now, do the teachers have those skills to inculcate into that? So, yeah. So, I came across a startup very recently which actually talks about creating conceptual thinking, critical thinking, goal setting between the teachers, and in return, the teachers will, inculcate that in the students. And it's a lab exercise, it's a proper book exercise, and trust me, the results are amazing. Because what is it that, say for example, assessment, you touched upon an assessment topic or an issue. Today, assessment has become an issue in India. There are startups which are coming in wherein the student is filling in key information about himself or herself, and they will come out with a report that, hey, you know what, you like science, so you become a doctor. There are so many other things which are involved. Why only a doctor? If I am a student and if I'm interested in biology and I'm also interested in technology, I can actually become a very good pathologist. I can get into biologist. I can get into a biotechnology firm.
Pharmacy, etc.
Yeah, we have stem cells which are evolving. So there are so many careers. Why are we still stuck only on medicine? In medicine also there are so many other parameters. But my point is that when we are talking about assessment skills or assessment companies, the schools who are blindly going and signing up with certain assessment companies without even assessing where is this AI coming from, what is actually written, what is the AI code which has already been written, nobody is assessing that. So that actually disturbed me. When I was reading an article, I was actually assessing one startup, and I was like, wow, these guys are doing a fabulous job, because there are creators who are content developers from Columbia, from Yale, and universities, Ivy League universities, and these particular content developers or curriculum developers have taken that as their career. They have taken that up as their PhD program. They have specialized into that. And then why not learn from them? Why wouldn't a school look at understand what the technology is all about and probably just inculcate that? So this was something which I really wanted to ask you, that are the teachers well equipped? Are the teachers even interested in equipping themselves?
That's a big challenge. If you ask me, I am heading a school as a founder principal, and I have to hire a lot of teachers. And unfortunately, I'm not able to actually select a handful of teachers just for the foundational stage. We're talking about foundational literacy and numeracy. You'll not find a single teacher who's perfect with one language.
Agreed.
If you look for an English teacher, you don't find any. If you look for a Hindi teacher, you don't find any. Even the Marathi teacher in Maharashtra, they're not good with the language. They're not pure with the language. So it is such a big challenge, and that's the biggest challenge, to find educators who are not just excellent with their subject,
but skill-based.
Yes. No, they're not just excellent. First thing is, you need to be excellent with your subject.
Correct.
Okay? Have a good command over the subject that you're going to teach, and they're not open-minded. They don't want to unlearn the wrong things which they've learned earlier and move ahead. NEP is giving enough scope for us to learn and move ahead. Unlearn what was not being done. Whatever mistakes maybe in our times our teachers did, we have to, at least, we cannot just sit here and discuss. Okay, discussion won't lead us unless and until we implement. So in my school, what I've done is, I have trained my new set of staff on solo taxonomy. I don't know if you're aware of Bloom's taxonomy, which was very much there in the last 30, 40 years. In 1982, solo taxonomy was introduced, though of course it was introduced, not adopted by a lot of countries. Structure of observed learning outcome is the full form of solo, okay? And here, unlike Bloom's, this is student-centric. It is not teacher-centric, which Bloom's was, okay? All the while we were teaching in B.Ed colleges how to teach. Okay, how should teachers teach? You should do this. Forgetting all the while how students learn. We never bothered about understanding, analyzing, collecting data, real-time data of how students learn, unfortunately. We always talked about one angle, what should be the curriculum. Curriculum is nothing but a structured way of implementing what you want to teach. Curriculum can be good, bad, whatever, can be relevant, irrelevant. We have to devise new things. We have to keep growing from the old methods and new methods. And some of the old methods were very good. Let's keep it back. Not everything needs to be thrown out of the window. So that is something which we all can think of. First, let's, as teachers, as educators, let's be student-centric. Let the parents also be student-centric. Instead of forcing them to do a particular, take up a stream and do something in their life, what they could not and they want to, like Mr. Sandeep sir has mentioned about his son trying to think out of the box. He allowed. How many parents are doing it? How many educators are doing it? I remember 3-4 years back, I was a vice principal in a school in Mumbai, and I was trying to educate children about the options, career options, if they take up science or arts or commerce or whatever. I was at a loss of words because I didn't know the age-old streams that we were following, and as ma'am rightly pointed out, science or biology doesn't only lead to be be a doctor. There are many more aspects to it. Or studying English or Hindi, there are many options now which if you ask me or any of us here, we'll be at a loss.
Yeah,
what are the career options? We don't know. A 3-year-old child tells me he wants to be a YouTuber. Now why? Because he wants, you know what he told me? What happens if we fall down? And nobody tells us, everywhere you search on internet and chat GPT or wherever you want to go to, they say how to succeed in this, how to succeed in that. They never tell us how to fail and then get up back.
True.
You will not find a single content on that domain of blogs or books which will tell you how to fail and be happy about it.
True.
How to fail and take it in your stride.
Yeah.
It's okay to fail. Failing is not bad. It's part of life. It's as good as being successful, right?
Yeah.
So when one is successful, one is failing. In a class of 40, someone to become the topper, there are 39 others who have not.
True.
So the larger strength of the population are failures, and then we learn. So that is something very important. Content has to be developed in a way that teaches resilience. And NEP is trying to do that.
Yes.
To deal with children, to deal with failures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks. It was a great discussion, great conversation. I think we should continue this. And we are forming a Pune Council on AIP. So I would really want maximum principals to participate, discuss, discover a lot of new options. Thank you very much, the entire panel. It was great having a conversation with all of you. Thank you, sir. And we shall keep meeting again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sorry? Yes. I'm just ending the panel. Yeah. So we will have, what's his name? Any question answers? Any questions you have? Yes?
It is not a question, ma'am, But I just want to, we had a discussion regarding various languages. We talk about regional language, state language, or foreign language also. But while doing that discussion, we forgot a language where the entire world is trying to learn. If you go to any university, so for example, if you go to Pune University and go to the department, to the Sanskrit
Sanskrit.
department,
Yeah.
so many foreigners are there.
Yes.
See, you go for any subject, if you want to know the deep knowledge of that subject, it is available only in Sanskrit. Not only for that, Sanskrit is helpful to improve your pronunciation,
Diction, yeah.
concentration
Accent, yeah,
level, and such everything.
True.
Means, yeah, in my school, our children are learning Sanskrit from grade 1. So I think the entire world is nowadays learning Sanskrit. Nowadays you are teaching yoga in the school. But for yoga also, for Ayurveda, for maths, for any subject, if you want the deep knowledge, you have to learn the Sanskrit. And I think it is useful for any other subjects also because it helps to be the concentration level. It improves your concentration level also.
Yeah, there are two reasons Sanskrit boom is coming up. Do you know the coding language?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sanskrit taxonomy, like whatever the syntax is something.
No, nowadays research is going on, yeah.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to be a good coder, you should be learning Sanskrit.
Yes.
So there's a commercial reason for that. Okay, and another biggest problem what Sanskrit is facing is it's not a live language because nobody is speaking that language except one village in
the Karnataka, one village is there.
Okay, so that we have to find out that there is one village. Whereas there is another classical language called as Tamil.
Yeah.
Do we know? There is a simple analogy, right? So the Aryans came from the Alps mountains, right?
So that's also
So
based
before
on
that,
Sanskrit.
yeah, before
That's also based on Sanskrit.
no, absolutely not. The
Okay.
thing here is, so the Aryans came from the Alps mountains. Who was there? Aborigines.
Yeah.
The Tamils, right? So the biggest argument is Tamil is much older than Sanskrit. And there is another research foundation in Tamil Nadu where there is a tsunami, right? Some years back. There is no word for tsunami in Tamil or Sanskrit. Okay. So they have to devise that word within half an hour and they have to put it in the news channels. Okay, so what happens is when the language doesn't research and then come up, after that only it dies. Right? So in Pune, the father is a Tamil, mother is a Tamil, but they speak only in English.
Yeah, previously
My
students...
children do not speak Marathi at all.
Okay.
They do not. When I ask them, "Jevaitsai ka?" they'll say, "I just had something." So they will not answer to you in the same language, and which is very disturbing to me because I'm a hardcore Marathi at heart, and that's something which my children definitely should learn. It's like that. In fact, I have been telling them now that learn because it can be your code language. It can be a code language between the two of you. This is the siblings. But anyways, thank you so much. Any other question? Sure.
So when we talk about NEP, a way forward 2040, I feel the panel raised a few questions which the NEP has already answered. We talk about teacher quality. The NEP has already answered the question by saying it will be an integrated program. And B.Ed, along with their graduation, it would go on. If a teacher decides to be a teacher, she has to take that integrated program and study. NEP Forward is a very, very ambitious program, I must say. There are a lot of things which we still feel, how would that happen? But like, for example, teaching in the mother tongue. With such a lot of movement across the continent, across the country, teaching in the mother tongue, a child in Pune has moved from, like, for example, let me say, Tamil Nadu, from Delhi, from Gujarat, and so on. How do I find a common language of teaching? So there are few questions which need to be answered. But the way forward is very, very bright, as I say, because there is a focus on skill development.
Yes.
Because there are jobs in the future that will be no longer there. So the skills would help the children take up those, avenues and take up those careers. Also, the core competencies in the educational subjects have to be handled, which means that the basics will be absolutely clear rather than completing those 20 chapters, even if the child studies 5, but those are dealt at length.
Yes.
So the basic concepts are much more clear, and the child can take these decisions like sir was talking about the future, the AI and everything.
Right.
The child needs those basic concepts there.
Correct.
Right? Also, when I talk about higher education, the integration of the education, the talk about industry exposure, which the schools have to provide to the children, is an excellent thing in NEP, and the children would know what kind of work environment exists in the jobs they want to take up in the future, and are they ready for it or not, or should they think of something else?
Got it.
Which would not, like, we have teachers coming to our schools for interview, they are engineers who want to come back to education because they found themselves a misfit. This would be a great solving hand.
Opportunity, yes,
Great
I agree.
opportunity, a great way to self-assess whether I am a fit there or am I a misfit.
True.
Because that industry exposure will be a great thing. So I think NEP has hurdles, has obstacles which need to be taken care of. But yes, it is a very progressive document, and gradually and very slowly with the implementation and the guidance of how to implement,
Correct.
we would see a better world.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can I have your name?
I am Vishakha Gupta, principal of Beacon High School.
Thank you so much. So, Nainesh, I have one request. With the questions and answers which we have had, maybe we can just create one Excel sheet and circulate it amongst the delegates also. If you have any more questions or any solutions also to those questions, that would be definitely welcome. Why I'm saying this is AIP is striving hard when we talk to principals. Now, the roundtable conference, the roundtable summit is happening in approximately 9 cities across India. Our main intention is that when principals come together, when we discuss a lot of things in open, and this is an open session, right? This is a conversation. So once we do that, we are going to collate that data of all the 9 cities, what are principals talking about it, how the education management is responding to it. And we will collate that data, and our interest is to present it to the Ministry of Education, so that we come across certain aspects, that certain things in NEP can be transformed in a particular manner. So be the change what you have to see. That's where we are going, and AIP is thriving for that. Thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you very much for coming in. Sure. Yes, please.
Sorry, I am not part of this conversation actually, officially, but then I have 2 questions. One about the chat GPT and the AI. The first thing is, like, my son is in grade 8th, and he got a project on how AI is helping in education. So he has to create a PPT on that. So definitely, like, they have a deadline to finish all those projects. So, like, on the last day, and I was asking him, have you done this? So he said, why are you worrying? Just give me 5 minutes. He went on Google. He searched a website called Tome, which creates a PPT on the topics, like whatever you want to have. And then he just put the right prompt. How AI is helping create a PPT for grade 8th. And that was created just in a few seconds. So I don't know how good it is, because he doesn't know what exactly those slides were. So how is it helping the students in that particular way? That is the first question which I have. Secondly, the fascination about the handwriting. Now here we are talking about the communication and the different languages. Definitely students are okay with talking in English or Hindi, but when it comes to writing, and definitely as a parents and as a teacher, we have a fascination about good handwriting. Teachers are cutting the marks if the student's handwriting is not good. So, like, in future, like, definitely, because we are moving towards technology driven, like, students are using tabs, computers, mobiles, everything, and they don't want to write. You have to force them to write, and especially if you talk about Hindi or Marathi, they are not willing to write anything. So how are we going about it? So these are my 2 questions actually.
Just one thing about the PPT thing which you said, right? In our school, we don't give any marks to the PPT, okay, or any essays or anything. We don't give any marks or any credit to what from where he is getting the PPT. We are giving marks on how he is presenting the PPT. Okay, so how many times he is looking at the prompts on the screen and what kind of questions he is able to answer. And the main grilling happens after the PPT, where we all the teachers are sitting with, and we ask them to shut down the PPT, and then we ask questions, and on that basis we are grading the student. Okay, so we are not bothered about the AI generated texts or the PPTs or anything. Only how he is presenting, what kind of examples which are not there on the PPT that he is giving, how he is relating to the real life scenario. That is one thing. And handwriting. So this is my handwriting. Like even a doctor is better than that, right? And only it's all typing and texting. And even nowadays, like all the iPad Pros and all these things are coming with Apple Pencil. You write anything, it will predict and take it as a soft copy. So I think that's a sad news for us.
Anymore. No school cuts marks for handwriting. As long as the handwriting is legible. In the sense, it should not be, as rightly mentioned, like a doctor, we can't make out what they write. Only the chemist can read. So what happens is, a child can write whatever, as long as the teacher or the examiner can read, understand, and assess. That's it.
Yeah.
Beyond that, and there's no marks cutting for handwriting at all if it is legible.
I
Legible,
actually have
that's
a
all.
point to make, okay? When we talk about the school where my children go to, they still ask the children to do the presentation on a chart paper, okay, irrespective of handwriting. They say, no, we don't want you to do any PPT, which is a beautiful thing. And they call that as a learning showcase. And the students have to do this categorically on a chart paper with their handwriting, whatever they have. Every student will get a subject and they have to go and present it on the chart paper. So this is something which experiential schools are inculcating. Again, I'm going back to the skill development point, that how can we better it up? Okay, that's something which all of us sitting here have to think about. Maybe write a note in our points and submit it to the ministry. That, maybe this can be a change in the system of education today. With that note, we are short of time. Okay, sure.
So I think we ran a campaign. We don't have education system, we have examination system. If you could all contribute to this particular prompt, ChatGPT, any GPT, any Taught, any AI, or your own, from your own experiences, I think we could, move ahead in terms of learning and making this world beautiful.
No, another point to this, to add up to this, I remember there was a creative writing competition in my child's school. And they had made groups, okay? So they had to write about 1 or 2 topics. Now my daughter stood up and she said, I'm not going to use ChatGPT because this is a creative writing workshop, right? If I have to ask the ChatGPT, how am I being creative? The ChatGPT is being creative. But very few students will think like that. I'm not saying because she was my daughter, because we had that conversation, she immediately said, no, I don't want to create that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, 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 absolutely. So that's my point, that is the teacher inculcated by making that change of conceptual thinking or goal setting inside the student. All right, thank you so much. We will take the questions offline, and many thanks for all of you to come over. Thank you so much.
Ma'am has to make one suggestion, the final. She was asking
Sure,
for Mr.
please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. 66-page document. Page 20 talks about the teachers. Nowhere does it talk about teachers' welfare.
Yes.
I have that suggestion to make, that if you're putting it across, if that could also be
Ma'am,
added.
let it come with your name.
Sure.
Please, Nainish will compile one Excel sheet. Please let it come with your name. This is a great suggestion. We have already had this conversation, but please put it in the Excel sheet.
Add it. Yes, of course. Teachers are, the principals are head teachers. So principals do get added in this.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank